Most self-improvement advice fails, and here's why. Hi, my name is Toby. I've been on self-improvement for 6 years, and I noticed a couple of things when it comes down to self-improvement videos on YouTube. I'm living in Germany, and a fitness company has a slogan saying something like, if you want muscles, don't focus on them, but rather love the training. And this is exactly how to do it. When you watch self-improvement videos on YouTube, they tell you things like, okay, if you want a six-pack, you have to do X, Y, and Z. And now, get the out, because your future self is looking at you and you need to have a strong Y. Boy, that's not really working, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be here watching this video. What you should do instead is focus on the process and make it enjoyable. Let's say you do not have a six-pack, but you want one. I can't imagine why someone would have a goal like this. Then the question is, why don't you have a six-pack yet? I think I can tell you why. Because you did not do the things in the past that would have led you to a six-pack right now. Why didn't you do those things? Because you did not like them and do not like them right now. For example, you hate being in a calorie deficit because you can't eat the food you actually want to eat. And now we need to change our point of view from the goal, like the six-pack, to the process and customize the process so you actually enjoy it. Because when you enjoy a process, you will go it and do the things, rather than when you hate a process, you won't do it and you will quit. Of course, this is just natural. So when it comes to customizing the process, you can really be creative and there are endless options. For example, let's stick to the six-pack example, but it works for any kind of goal. If you have a career goal, if you want to have better grades in school, if you want to eat clean, even if you want to become like a professional esport player, it really does not matter. It's always the same thing. Again, let's say you want to have a six-pack. Then you have to customize the process in a way you actually like doing it. For example, you need to be in a calorie deficit. This is just the most important thing. So let's say you love chocolate and you die hard, do not want to miss out eating chocolate every day. This is okay as long as you customize your food around like eating chocolate in a way that you're still in a calorie deficit. That means you're eating less calories than you actually would need to kind of hold your weight. And now you can be really creative. Like, what food do you want to eat? Really think deeply about it. You also might want to do cardio. Okay, which kind of cardio is actually bearable for you? Do you hate running? Okay, then maybe start cycling. Do you want to go to the gym or do you want to bicycle in the nature? You maybe want to listen to a podcast or music in the gym while cycling. There are endless options and you really have so much tools nowadays, because if somebody wanted to cut like 100 years ago, he couldn't listen to a podcast because it did not exist. But we have this variety of tools we can use to customize a process so we like it. Or let's say you want better grades. Then you can have a look at, okay, how do I actually enjoy learning? Or at least, how is it bearable to learn? Do I want to learn with ChatGPT? Do I want to study at specific times? Because, for example, in the evening, I like studying more than in the afternoon. There are so many options and you need to customize the process, because this is what leads you to this goal inevitably. It's like daily process focusing instead of seeing this goal in like 1 year and then being demotivated after a couple of times, which actually brings me to point number 2. Most self-improvement advice focuses on motivation instead of habits. Of course, if you watch a YouTube video, it's always on motivation, because motivation gets a lot of clicks. Yeah, get the out there, David Goggins mindset. Of course it doesn't work because it's not lasting. You can't use your willpower forever to achieve a goal. So start building habits. This is perfectly combinable with looking at the process, because a process is something you do daily. You eat your food daily. Make it a habit to, for example, eat the same breakfast every day. And if you implement this and it becomes a habit, the hard things become easier to do than not to do. But on this point, I have to be honest with you, sometimes it takes like 60 days to implement a habit. That's why you also should make the habit in a way that you like it, customizing the process, then continue doing it until it became a habit. Point number 3 is the last point, why common self-improvement advice fails. And that's because you think you need to do this thing forever instead of having a sequenced mindset. If you're watching those common self-improvement videos, they're telling you this concept and then you think, okay, I need to do this for the rest of my life now. For example, that's about dieting and you think, okay, wow, I need to do this for the next year. Instead of thinking, okay, I will do it for 6 weeks and then track my progress and then decide new, okay, do I want to continue or do I want to end the process? If you want to bring this on really the most end level, look at me meditating. When I'm meditating, I'm not thinking about the next 10 minutes or the next day or like my to-do list. I'm just focusing on the next breath. It's just one breath after one breath. If you implement this sequenced mindset onto your life and you're just perfectly in the moment and just think about the task you're doing at the moment, by this you can endure so much more because you are not already thinking about the whole mountain you want to climb, but you're rather just focusing on the next step. If this is too hard for you to really just focus on the next moment, think about a sequenced time frame in which you're trying out new habits and the process. Rather than thinking about I'm doing this for the next 1 year, just think about, okay, I'm doing this for the next 6 to 8 weeks and this is much more bearable than focusing on like 1 year goals. Summarizing why most self-improvement advice fails is it focuses on goals instead of processes. It focuses on motivating you and not building habits, which is just not long lasting. Last but not least, it focuses on doing things forever or at least for a long period of time instead of having a sequenced mindset. If you want to grow in your life, implement those things and you will see massive progress and finally you can stick to a long-term plan that leads you near towards your goals. I wish you all the best luck implementing those things. See you in the next video. Goodbye.